This episode is about starting out on our life's adventure, and thank you BetterHelp for sponsoring this episode. Beginning an adventure can be uncomfortable and pretty scary. Therapy has helped me understand and manage my fears, and I've found BetterHelp to be the most immediate and accessible therapy platform. BetterHelp is online therapy that eliminates the time-consuming, puzzling search for a therapist. With BetterHelp, you don't need a referral. The BetterHelp sign-up process simply asks you questions, straightforward questions that you answer online. Within 24 to 48 hours in most cases, BetterHelp connects you to a licensed therapist appropriate to your needs. BetterHelp is a very simple, comfortable, and convenient place for therapy. You can do your sessions through messaging, voice, or video. Change your therapist if you want to. Use this link for 10% off your first month of therapy, and the link is in the description. Thank you, BetterHelp. I started out in 1998 after college. I moved from Virginia to Brooklyn and pursued a career as a magazine writer. I was 23. But what if I was starting out now in 2024 at 18? I have the wisdom of my 49-year-old brain, but I have the bodily knowledge of my 18-year-old self. So, in other words, the things I've learned how to do with my body between the ages of 18 and now, I don't know how to do in this alternative 18-year-old van universe, which means I don't know how to edit. I don't know how to use cameras. I don't know how to write well. I don't know how to ride a shifter motorcycle even. I know how to drive stick. I don't know how to build things or use power tools. I'm starting from scratch with my skills acquisition, but I have the wisdom I have now. I know how difficult and important it is to make money and what it takes to make money. I know the key to my freedom and options is tied to my ability to make money. And in this alternate universe where I'm 18 years old in 2024, I know the importance of the experiences, the profound experiences that this 49-year-old brain has had. Here's the 5 things I'd do if I was 18 now. First thing I'm going to do, I ain't going to college. I'm going to get a job. I'm living with my dad and his wife in Waterford, Connecticut. I'm going to give myself about a year to save up $15,000. Then I'm getting the hell out of my dad's house. I'm going to get a job working for a contractor. A good contractor who makes a good living renovating houses. And I'm going to aggressively learn every skill I can. Learn as many tools as I can. I will not screw up the easy stuff. I'll be Mr. Reliability, Mr. Punctuality, Mr. Enthusiasm, Mr. Positivity. Maybe I'll luck out and I'll get to work on a crew in Nantucket and make really good money. But in any event, I'll work myself to the bone, saving up that 15 grand in a year. Utility truck. All right, there's a service utility truck with the headlights on, that Chevy. Second move. Now it's going to start to get a little scary and risky. I take most of my $15K, it's now about a year later, and buy a utility truck, also called a service truck. And you've seen these trucks all over the place. A service truck or a utility truck is basically a modified pickup truck with a special bed that has toolboxes integrated into it. They're usually white, these utility trucks, and you see them everywhere, especially in nice neighborhoods where people are having work done on their houses. It's like the pros kind of truck. Okay, that GMC right there, that's a perfect one. Whoa. Probably early to mid 90s. I'm choosing the utility truck I end up with based on budget, reliability, and soul. I want it to like look cool. Here's one I found in Georgia, $6,000 he wants for it. And I'm going to love my utility truck. I'm going to tweak it and customize it during my free time, but I'm not going to dump too much money into it because I got to hold on to what's left of my $15K. I'm gradually going to fill my truck up with the tools I need to start some kind of carpentry business. Third move. I've got a truck and some tools. I've got about a year's worth of carpentry knowledge, and I know that's not much. I know it takes like 10 years to become a decent carpenter. I know. Let's say I've got about $3,000 to $5,000 left over after I buy the truck. Third move, this is the scariest and most radical part. This is the belly of the whale. This is where I feel like I'm going to die, and I am going to die in a way. The old towny Van Neistat, Connecticut Van Neistat will die, and the new independent Van Neistat will be born. I'm going to get the hell out of my dad's house. I'm going to get the hell out of my town. I'm going to get the hell out of my state. I'm not moving to New York. I'm not moving to LA because they're too expensive. I'm going to move to a college town somewhere relatively warm relative to Connecticut. I'm thinking, and I've only been there once in my actual life, my actual 49-year-old life, Athens, Georgia, home of the University of Georgia. I remember Athens, Georgia was a beautiful place, and one of my favorite bands, REM, was from Athens, Georgia. College towns have an unusual sort of economy. A lot of college kids, though they're broken college, are from relatively rich families. Some of the professors are well off. There's lots of businesses in college towns that cater to the college kids. So there's a big market. There's a big economy in these, especially big Division I college towns. And the sororities and the fraternities tend to have money. And the sororities and fraternities need to have stuff built and made. Also, colleges in 2024 are mostly women. And in this scenario, I'm 19 or 20 years old and single. And on the outskirts of college towns, you can usually find relatively cheap places to live that cater to the poorer college kids or the non-college kids, because everybody in a college town wants to live in the cool houses near school, near campus. So third move, I moved to a college town, maybe Athens, Georgia. On my way to Athens, or maybe it's out of my way, I go to Chaston, hand-painted. He's somewhere in Georgia. And I get the most beautiful hand-painted sign painted on the doors of my truck, whatever the name of my business is. And then in parentheses, detail-oriented. And then my phone number. Beautiful hand-painted doors. And this is for my inspiration. This is my Dumbo's feather. Fourth move, I build my business. And I think my specialty is going to be, I think I'm going to be a shelf guy. I think I'm going to just build custom shelves. I might even call the business Just Shelves. That might be what it says on the side of the truck. I'm going to be super reliable. I'm going to have a contract that my client doesn't need to sign, but it'll lay out exactly what he or she can expect from me. I'm going to charge in the beginning $50 an hour. A little expensive, but I'll be fast and reliable, and I'm going to go wherever this takes me, this job takes me. Maybe it's not just shelves. I'm going to chase down every opportunity. Maybe it morphs into something else entirely. I take lots of photos. I have a great Instagram page. I meet tons of people my age. I'm living in a college town. I have some kind of uniform for myself, and then for any employees I might hire, I start making a good living. Likely this will take 7 to 10 years from when I started. I don't drink. I don't do drugs. I'm not even 30 yet, but I'm trying to make a business like the Got Junk guy or the Pink's window washers people, but it's the like Just Shelves business. I'm going to market to the sorority girls so they all have tons of these little shelves for all their makeup and so forth. And it won't be that expensive for them, but it'll keep me busy. It'll keep me booked. Move 5. Move 5 is called buying the magic beans. My favorite thing that my brother Casey ever made was the intro to the Neistat Brothers HBO series in episode 1.
In Jack and the Beanstalk, Jack and his mom own a cow. It was a nice cow, but it was all they had. When Jack goes out to sell their cow, instead of selling it for gold, he sells it for a handful of beans. Beans that were supposed to be magical. For me, that's where the story ends. Yes, Jack eventually grows a beanstalk, and he robs the giant, gives all the stolen gold to his mom, then he murders the giant with his axe. The point is, he didn't trade the cow for money or a sure thing. He traded the cow for a chance at something great.
And buying the magic beans is like making that irrational decision that comes from your gut and ends up steering your life on an unimaginable course. And for me, in my actual 49-year life, my magic beans was buying a video camera and an iMac back in 2000 with all of the money I had and some of the money I didn't have. Nobody was making digital videos in 2000, almost nobody. I wouldn't start out now to make digital videos because everybody's doing it. And there's something out there now that almost nobody's doing, and I'd be prepared, if I was starting out now at 18 with the wisdom I have now at 49, I'd be prepared to discover my magic beans. And the big picture is I would set out to live a life wherein the things that are to come are too fantastic not to tell. Somewhere along the line, I know there will be girls, visions, everything. Somewhere along the line, the pearl would be handed to me. On this week's Patreon-only video, I'm gonna make one of these beautiful tables out of one of these ugly tables using a beautiful sheet of 1/4-inch plywood.